Hello everyone. My name is Babu George. I am your instructor for this course, Strategic Management. In this course, we will examine what business strategy is. But before going to that, let us understand the different levels of management. At the day-to-day basis, managers do a lot of things. Those are called operations. Typically, operations are handled by entry-level managers and supervisors. Then we have middle-level managers in a hierarchical organizational structure. And these middle-level managers often deal with tactical issues affecting businesses. Strategies, on the other hand, are dealt with by top executives in business organizations. For example, someone like Steve Jobs, when he lived, would have studied, examined how actions and events involving Apple affect their competitiveness and influence success or failure. Top level executives are worried about the bigger issues and bigger impacts affecting their organizations. They are not entirely concerned about short term minor impacts of decisions that firms make. Bigger changes, the big picture. Now that would should make us think, what is the role of creativity in it? Yes, creativity is so much more important in strategic decision making than in tactical or operational decisions. That is why we pay a lot of money, a hefty, huge, bulky paycheck to the CEOs. Oftentimes you wonder why the CEO pay is so high. One reason is that organizations, firms expect the CEOs to be extremely constructively creative when it comes to making decisions. That said, there are a large number of time tested tools and techniques that would aid the decision making when it comes to strategies. What I'm trying to say is that these tools and techniques are decision support mechanisms rather than decision make autonomous decision making tools. So strategic management, in other words, involve, in summary, decisions made by top executives of firms that have got far-reaching consequences for the firm, far-reaching consequences for its stakeholders. Sometimes to the extent of impacting the future of the industries in which these firms are placed. Some of the strategic decisions might also impact other industries. A strategic decision now made by, say, for example, Zoom might significantly impact the future of higher education industry. So strategic decisions, even though they are organizational, if a company is making powerful decisions, it might impact the industries in which they are located and also even beyond that. When you study strategy as a scholarly effort, we can see that strategic management is a cyclical process. It starts with strategic analysis, analyzing the environment, business environment, as well as the internal environment of organizations. Because a strategic manager, a top level executive, cannot make decisions without understanding the undercurrents and also the trends in the industry. So the political environment, economic environment, cultural and social environment, technological environment. All these environmental changes would impact decisions to be made by a strategist. So the first step of strategic management is in analyzing the environment, both internal and external to the organization. Based on this analysis, as well as the vision of the organization, that's very important. For example, there may be an opportunity to get into a new industry or a new market or a product line. But what if it is not in alignment with our vision as an organization? So not all opportunities are to be pursued, even though those opportunities are profitable. Sometimes you may have to pursue opportunities, even though those are loss making, because our vision is so important for us as a company. So anyway, after making the strategic environmental analysis as well as internal analysis, we make strategic choices that are in alignment with our vision and aspirations for the future. When you talk about strategic analysis, I said that is where the tools and techniques are the most important. We have tools like BCG metrics, SWOT analysis, pest analysis, various tools. We will introduce them during the course. So after making strategic choices, you go to strategic implementation. The choice we made to pursue needs to be implemented. So that's the third phase. The fourth phase of a strategic management as a systematic process is strategic review. Once you implement it, you need to review it. Okay, so let me repeat the four phases of strategic management. Number one, strategic analysis. Number two, making the strategic choice after the analysis. Number three, implementing the choice that we have made. And number four, which is the final phase of the cycle, is strategic review, in which you review the effectiveness of the choice that you implemented. Now, when you review, you may find certain weaknesses, certain lacunae, and based on which you revise it. So it's a process of improvisation. However, this improvisation may not be easy or possible in every scenario because the business environment might be changing. The product life cycles, if you see, of typical products in 21st century or today are much shorter than, say, 20 years ago. You can see that new products are coming and going. Consumer behavior keeps changing so fast. So we need to do, even though strategic management is about longer term issues, the time frame by which strategic decisions are made have actually shortened. And that's very interesting because a few decades ago, when strategic management emerged as a discipline or a professional field, we had this idea that some of the principles are set in stone. Some of the decisions are for next 20 or 30 years. That's no longer the case. So it's very important to understand that even strategic decisions could be for short term, given the chaos. No one expected COVID-19 to come. That means a strategic decision made by a company a week or a month before it was known to be a pandemic needed to be revised, even though those decisions were made by top executives. So let us go into a little more in depth to strategic management. But at this stage, let us pause for a moment